What is an automatic transfer switch? It's that mystery box hanging on the wall in your electrical room that you're afraid to touch. All information expressed by Standby Power Solutions, LLC, or its officers is strictly the opinion of Standby Power Solutions, LLC. The automatic transfer switch is a separate device from the generator, but is an integral part of the emergency power supply system. It continually monitors the utility power. It monitors the generator power. When appropriate, it sends a start signal to the generator control. It provides time delay functions to control the generator power supply. It connects the generator power to the building when appropriate. It restores utility power when it becomes stable again. It tells the generator when to stop. It provides automatic generator exercise function. In other words, it acts as the brain for the system. There are four types of automatic transfer switches you are likely to run across. Open transition. This is by far the most common. Closed transition. This one is fairly rare. It requires synchronization with the utility and is used where a power disruption during testing is to be avoided. Bypass isolation. Fairly common and should be used in all critical applications. I will write a separate article on this type of switch. Solid state. You may never see one. These are used in supercritical systems only. With an open transition switch, the contactor disconnects from the utility power before it connects to the generator power. There are two kinds of open transition switches. Contactor type, typically that would be ASCO, Onan, Cummins, Zenith, or Generac. Breaker type, typically that would be Westinghouse, Square D, Lakeshore, Thomson, or Cutler Hammer. There is something you should know about breaker type switches. NFPA 110, 2010 edition, Chapter 8.3.5 requires the contacts be inspected for overheating and contact erosion and then replaced when required. You just can't do this with many breaker type switches. If you have one of these transfer switches, you may want to talk with your engineer, contractor, or vendor before you get a tag. This is an old Kohler switch made with lighting contactors. Onan made these as well. You may never see one. Parts are getting really hard to find. With a closed transition switch, the contactor remains closed on the utility until the generator synchronizes. Only then is a transfer allowed. The result is a seamless transfer. This only helps during tests when both sources remain energized. It can result in delayed transfer and does not come into play when the utility fails. A bypass isolation switch should be used in all critical applications like healthcare, where it would cause problems to shut the circuit down for service or repair. It is essential with bypass isolation switches to read the manual and drill on emergency transfer procedures. That's a picture of the manual controls along with instructions as to how to manually transfer that switch. Try to figure this out during an emergency. All automatic transfer switches have a control system that contains a start circuit that sends a signal to the generator to start, time delay functions for start, transfer, retransfer, and cool down, as well as an exercise timer for automatic testing. Time delay start. The start circuit is most often a simple contact closure that sends a signal to the generator controller. In a few systems, it is a contact that opens, but that is rare. There are some later model automatic transfer switches that actually send a data burst to the generator controller to initiate a start. This can be problematic in that it requires an energy source to tell the generator to start. If the utility is out and the generator has not started, the source of power must come from batteries. Therefore, the operator must always be aware of the battery condition. Most of these controllers must have the batteries replaced every 2 to 3 years. The time delay feature is designed to allow the system to override momentary utility outages. It is usually set for about 3 seconds. Time delay transfer. The time delay on transfer is commonly set for 3 seconds as well. This feature allows the engine's speed and generator voltage to stabilize before assuming the load. Time delay on retransfer. During a power outage, it is common for the utility to be unstable for a while as it tries to return. The time delay on retransfer is designed to give the utility a chance to stabilize before the facility connects to it. This timer is usually set for about 30 minutes. Time delay on cooldown. After an engine runs under heavy load for a while, excess heat builds up. The cooldown does not make the engine cool. It merely dumps excess heat so that the radiator does not boil over. Exercise clock. The automatic transfer switch needs to be equipped with an automatic exerciser. This is normally programmable for weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly automatic testing. You'll find that requirement in NFPA 99 as well as NFPA 110. However, it does not say you have to use the exerciser. All information expressed by Standby Power Solutions, LLC, or its officers is strictly the opinion of Standby Power Solutions, LLC. Standby Power Solutions, LLC disclaims any liability for any personal injury, property, or other damages of any nature whatsoever, whether special, indirect, consequential, or compensatory, directly or indirectly resulting from the publication, use of, or reliance on this website or any information derived thereof. Standby Power Solutions, LLC also makes no guarantee or warranty as to the accuracy or completeness of any information contained herein. Anyone using this website should rely on his or her own independent judgment, or, as appropriate, seek the advice of a competent professional in determining the exercise of reasonable care in any given circumstance. All rights reserved. Do not reproduce without express written permission.